Detour with Design. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. For actually our viewers who don't know, I think we should tell them this information. Vikas used to be my boss previously, so I know he's an amazing human being and a very good team leader. So yeah, it's a pleasure to have you with us today here.
Thanks a lot. And I must tell your viewers also that Vinita was an outstanding person when she was working with us, and even now she's doing great with her startup called EIP.
Thank you so much for being so modest.
Yeah,
Okay, so like I know a bit of the story, but I'm sure our viewers would be very interested to know that thought about rethinking the future right after your college. What made
yeah.
you eventually just go for it and start it? What made you do that?
I think it all started very organically. I was not really looking to start a global platform for architecture. When I graduated during my college time, also I used to research a lot and search for a lot of projects that were doing good, basically on sustainability. That was my primary area of research. So, and I used to share all these articles with my friends through emails. And once they told me that stop spamming our inbox, why don't you create your own Facebook page and we can read it all there. So that's how that gave me spark of starting something that can have the collective knowledge of what people are doing in the field of sustainability and creating new designs, keeping the future in mind. So I started a Facebook page with the name of Rethinking the Future, and around the same time I started my website also, like to have a better, because there's a problem with Facebook that you cannot search for any data. You can search for people or places, but you cannot really search the data. So for that reason, I had to start my website. So it started like that, and I
But
used
this time you were still in college.
yeah, the Facebook page started in 2011, and
Okay.
in 2012 I created my website. Yeah. So I used to ask a lot of people about their projects, because since I was running a website now, so I had to ask a formal permission. So I used to write mails to them and ask for the projects, and they usually used to send their images, and I had to write about the project myself. So that's how the writing part of started. And when I did later on, when I was primarily focusing on projects related to sustainability. And later on, when I was doing a master's in urban design, I realized that there is a lot that goes into the process of making cities, like not just architecture, but everything, like urban design, landscape, product design, everything from a minute scale to a large scale. So I thought like maybe we should more focus on all, like expand the vision of RTF, and we should focus on the process of cities, not just the building as a unit. So that's where I started like getting projects from almost every field, and I was given an opportunity to write a lot during my masters also. So that gave me a spark of writing about different issues that we are facing in architecture, and eventually we started focusing on articles more than the projects. So we used to search for all the topics that that might be of interest of people, and people are already searching, but not the right information is available. So we then started with curating a lot of articles on RTF, and that was like a turning point for us, like back in 2018 when we took this decision of creating a lot of articles on our website. And that is when we start to get noticed among the fraternity, and people were searching for this data, and then they were looking for the links on RTA. That's how people got to know about RTA while we were doing work on RTF from 2012, but I think 2018 is when we really got it. So
So it took about
that
eight
when
years. That's quite a long time, and I'm sure tons of hard work went into it.
yeah.
Okay, so right.
Not just on my part, but from the team itself. Like the people I got to work with were really hardworking, and even like all the people that I used to work with, or the people who are working with me now, are like making all the effort that that is what people see.
See, that's why I said, na, great team player, guys. So if you're looking for a job vacancy, please apply to Vikas. So right now you've also started this amazing educational platform for architectural courses, which you call Eduwik. So my first question that
Yeah,
head is, what does the
yeah.
Eduwik mean? It's a very unusual term. What does it mean?
So I think it primarily the name is derived from two words. Like first is the education. So we took edu from education, and then from the Wikipedia. Like Wikipedia is a tool, open tool, which is for an online search for the information, and it's a collaborative effort. So we had the same vision of creating this platform. Like we wanted a lot of mentors to come and collaborate with us and create short courses for people who are interested in learning the stuff that they are not usually taught in the college. So that was the whole idea, and hence the name comes. I do.
Does Wikipedia get a copyright commission from you for using part of their name?
No, sorry, I just missed your question. I think
It was just a joke. I said, does Wikipedia get a copyright commission from you for using a part of their name?
no, because Vic is also means like working kind. So we can also say that like we are doing
You
sort of
have a backup story to
service.
help you.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of service to the fraternity by giving it information. A lot of information is available for free, obviously. So we are doing the work in kind, sir. It goes in both the directions.
Right. Okay, no, but so there might be a counter approach to this, in the sense that a lot of teachers or educators might be of the notion, or actually currently also have the notion, that architecture is primarily a very practical concept, or very practical based subject. So how do you
Yes.
plan on, or convincing, or other, my question is, how do you plan on teaching this sort of subject through recorded lessons, or just online?
Yeah, so there are usually three formats that we study architecture in. One is you go out in the on the site and then you take the practical knowledge out there. On the construction site, you get to see how the flooring is done or how the wall is erected. And the other is like we have design studios where we do a lot of discussion about our design that we are creating. Apart from this, the third part is the lecture hall where we get to uh, learn about the theory part through our lecture halls. So whatever we are teaching through lectures, I think can be converted in recorded lessons and can be hosted through online courses. So we are doing that only. We are not generating discussions on design that people are creating, but we are helping them out like how can they come up with good concept design, like through a lot of theory and examples through case studies that we teach.
So you might say that you're also kind of training them to be more extensive about their research as well, maybe that segment as well.
About everything, like a lot of things that we don't get uh, taught in our colleges, like if we are to make portfolio, we don't know how to go about it, how to make a good appealing portfolio. Even we are not taught very simple things like how to approach a firm for internship or your first job. We are not taught these skills. So we are creating like our primary aim for RTF has been to create knowledge that is not available, to bridge the gap, like the people what people are already searching for but they are not getting the good information on it. So similarly, we for Eduwik also we are creating all the courses based on the searches that people are already making and not getting the essential information that they need to get. So that's the whole idea, and that's the reason that we are not creating any courses based on softwares. We are producing courses that is enabling people through their soft skills, like how to market themselves. If somebody is running their architecture firm, so we have a course for that, how to build brand for your design firm, or how to get your work published also. We are covering a whole series of lecture on that. So that's the kind of topics that we are taking for our online courses.
Right. Definitely sounds like something that could come to use to a lot of people. So, like in the beginning, like you said, that it took you 8 years, rather, in between you working in other places, I'm sure, to make RTF, or, again,
Yeah,
have RTF at a position, and then even eventually go into EduWeek. So, one
yeah.
lesson or one thing that you learned in these 8, 10 years of your career as a design journalist in India, as somebody who wants to spread information, like you said, one thing that you learned that you would
Yeah.
to say to other students or professionals who are coping up to be design journalists or do something similar?
Yeah. One thing I would like to make clear here, like uh, we usually talk about writing in architecture, and when we say uh, about the profession as design journalist, then there is a difference. Like a journalist can be a writer, but a writer cannot be
Yeah,
a
journalist, yes,
journalist. Yeah.
true.
So when you are working as a design journalist, you need to, cross check all the points that architect is saying. Suppose architect is claiming that he is designing a green building, which is essentially cooling the temperature by 5 degrees through passive technology. Then you must go onto the site and check whether it's happening or not. So that's the work of a journalist. As a writer, you should be very clear about your target audience. I would say when you're starting to write the piece that on any topic that you are putting, you must be clear for whom you are writing. So we usually, tend to just pick our pen and just write our thoughts. So if you're doing that, then better write it on your diary only. But if you're aiming it for a professional thing, then you must be clear about the people that you are approaching. Like if it is a piece of writing that you are writing for architects, then the vocabulary would be different. And if you are writing for a normal audience generally, like on a issue like central vista, and you want to make a general awareness about the project to the people, then the vocabulary would be different. And similarly, you will be approaching different platforms to get it published. So that needs to be very clear in the mind before you are starting to write about anything. So I think that that is one advice when what I would like to share with all, because
So you're
I
saying,
realized it very later in my profession.
audience is key in any case. Audience is
Yeah.
that should be given the most amount of advantage and most amount of focus on that. Who is the one who is
Yeah.
checking your stories and your data?
Yeah. Who's reading it?
Yeah,
So make sure that the point goes. You are able to communicate your point to the
to
person.
them. So, what would you call? Are you a design writer or are you a design journalist? Or are you just the founder?
I would say I like to write a lot, so I am a writer. So
Right.
I usually don't go out and check all of the stats myself. So I won't call myself as a design journalist, but I'm a writer. I would say I'm a designer. I'm a writer. I'm an urban designer also.
Multifarious Vikas. Okay, so I know probably anybody would answer very diplomatically to this question, but if I may like ask for honesty, so of course in the world currently there are quite a few. Of course, with even with the COVID happening, a lot of digital platforms have come up with kind of similar point of view, similar goals. Although all of them have some variations here and there, but there is a similar point line of flow that flows in all of them. So, do you feel that any one of them, or any more, it can be more than one, who are kind of your direct competition, or it's like a goal that you want to be like this company, or that's like your ultimate aim. Do you have something like that?
No, actually, I don't look up to any current design related online platform as something that I want to do. There is a different path that I'm taking, I think, and I want RTF as a big tree, like which has a lot of branches. So like Eduwik is one, and in future I'm going to have a lot more in the, like something related to AEC industry only. But the whole idea is to solve the different problems that are persisting in the fraternity, and like through different platforms like Adobe is one. Then probably we are going to create a lot more. Like I have few in mind, but eventually it will take a long time to get those implemented in the field. So that is my vision, and a healthy competition needs to be there. So because that gives you an idea. Like earlier, we don't really used to think that we'll be having a million sort of readers on our website, but only when we try to compare our website with others in terms of stats, like the number of visitors, traffic, then only we got the confidence that if they are doing it, we can also do it. and that also help us defining our short-term goals. Like if I can define that this is the kind of traffic that we need on our website, then probably these are the areas that we should be writing on more. We should have focus on the kind of content people are already searching for. Then we do a lot of research. Like there is a good team that goes, a good team and good time and effort that goes into search engine optimization that gives us all the idea of like using the words that we are using in our titles and everything that comes from there. So that the competition thing that you are telling me is it varies with time. Like when we had our monthly visitors of about 10,000, then we had a competitor who used to have 15,000 monthly visitors. So we keep short-term goals with respect to that. So it changes every 2-3 months.
Vikas is competing with everybody. Guys, Vikas is competing with everybody out there. To tell our viewers once more time and to explain to Vikas. So the segment 2 is something we called myth or not. So I'm going to be reading out one myth or one statement at a time actually. And Vikas here will have to tell me that whether he thinks that is a myth or does he think that's the truth, and he has to give me a good reasoning for it. So guys, we have to see if he is being truthful or not. So let's begin. So the first statement is, people who fail as architects become design journalists. Myth or not?
It's a myth. It's a complete myth, and I can tell you from my own experience. I consider myself a good designer. Uh, and one of the reason that artist picked was, and I got the confidence of creating my own platform was because I got my academic project. Like one of my thesis got published around on 100 channels back then in 2011. So and that only gave me an exposure of how these things are run, like uh, how there are a number of platforms that are giving out information on architecture. That gives me an idea that I can do start something like that as well. So and it got appreciated by a lot of people. I received many awards, and I used to participate in competitions too, and got some recognition there as well. So I think you don't need to be a bad designer to be a good journalist. You can start anytime, and it's just the passion. Which passion drives you more. So eventually pick that one.
Okay, so the first one he thinks, Vikas thinks is a myth. So let's go with the second one. Uh,
Mm.
Number 2 is, digital media will soon take over print media in architecture. Myth or not?
I'll tell you why. Anybody who's thinking digital media will take over soon over print media is bluffing himself or herself. Digital media has already taken over print media a long time back. You can see a lot of print public media are coming online. Nobody who is starting online as right now is going back to print. Nobody is doing that. So that's already there.
So that
Print
means
media
it's
is
the truth.
already
So how is
yeah,
it a
that means
myth?
that
It's the truth, right?
it's a myth because people, if you are thinking it's going to take over soon, it's already taken over.
Okay, he's saying it's a myth because it has already taken over. We are already in the digital age. Okay, okay, smart move. Statement number 3, design journalism is not a credible profession.
Design journalism, I would say, is not a credible profession. It's a myth
That's the statement.
because
Whether, now you have to tell me if that's a
yeah,
myth
yeah,
or if it's the truth.
yeah, it's a myth because design journalism is as credible as any other part of journalism. It's essentially a journalism, right? You're talking about building, that's a different thing, but you're doing a journalism. So it's as credible as uh, journalism. And a lot of stories are being covered about the built environment, about cities, about architecture as unit, about interiors, everything from like a product design to a city design. Everything is covered, and that's a credible profession. Like, if that's not what else is.
All right. Final and statement number 4 is, our current architecture teaching methodology needs change and alterations. Myth or not?
I think it's not, it's truth, it's reality. Do need to innovate in our teaching methodologies and the syllabus that we are teaching to our students in colleges. There is a lot that we can cover, and we are wasting a lot of time in our 5 years of education on things that we don't need in profession right now at the moment. So I think we need to revise our curriculum a lot, and we should be doing that revision, every 3, 4 years, 5 years, because we need to adapt to technology or the changes in trends that is happening all around us.
Right. Moving on to segment 3, which is a design, rapid fire. This is an absolute original idea. We have not copied this from Bollywood. And this is like so original. I cannot even stress how original an idea this is, but might as well do it. So, Vikas, you'll have 10 seconds with each question that I ask you, and you have to answer within 10 seconds. So, make sure you do.
Okay.
And so let's begin segment 3. Question 1: video blogs or podcasts, the one you think that will stick for a longer period of time?
Podcast.
Okay. Question 2: Facebook or Instagram, the better social media platform for architects to showcase their work?
Instagram and then LinkedIn.
Okay. Instagram and then LinkedIn. Architects take note. Question 3: research skills or writing skills, the one which is more necessary for a budding design journalist to have?
Both, I think both. You cannot uh, focus on one thing. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Zaha Hadid or Tadao Ando, your favorite star architect?
Well, I would say now I'm killing the rapid fire session, but I don't believe in star architects. I think it's high time that we should celebrate our mentors. So I would say Vinod Gupta.
Okay. So, final question: is SPA or SEPT the better college in architecture according to you?
I would say SP.
Great. Okay, you did not answer. You absolutely was diplomatical, so you are not getting any hamper today for sure. You did a good job, definitely. You did. Thank you so much again for being a part of Detour with Design. I really hope you had fun in the conversations we had, because we did. I'm sure we did.
I yeah, I had a great time with this. Like all the 3 segments were really great and very thought out.
Right. How sweet.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely our pleasure. Thank you so